Hey everyone, Eggman here with another video. And today we have a couple deck lists I've been working on for the Ultimate Cup format that we have here in September. It's pretty much the same one we've had in the last couple events for this year. There is an updated restriction list that we're going to go over real quick and just kind of go from there. So the quick restrictions are you have to do like the monocolor rule, which means that every card in your deck has to share one color. So everything has to be yellow, everything has to be red, that kind of thing. So you can run multicolor cards, but they all have to share at least one color with everything else. So, and then we do have a new restriction list. So Rosemon was restricted in the previous ones, which is why it's mentioned here. But Analog Man is new. We have the BT12 Marcus at 1 copy, Deathslinger at 1, which is new, Hydro at 1, and Chaos Aggregation, which is already at 1. And then Hidden Potential discovered at Banned, which is new because we already had Cerberus and Death Axe. So that's kind of the idea for this one. And again, I don't think that this is going to be much different than the Ultimate Cups that we've been seeing in the past. If you guys want some of that data too, I do have all of that on my website. I have all the topping archetypes for at least the BT12 one. So if you guys want to see that, obviously it's a different restriction list, but I think this is a good idea if you want to see any of these archetypes. And we did also have one BT13 Ultimate Cup already at Gen Con, so we do have all the deck lists from that event. If you guys want to see this one, obviously Mirage and Blue Flare did very good for this one, and I expect that to kind of be the case for the next couple of events as well. But specifically for this video, I wanted to go over some of the newer BT13 archetypes that are just generically are newer for this format. But I do expect, honestly, like Greymons to still be pretty good. Bloom can be very good. Blue Hybrid, fantastic as well, and probably like an All Force or two. Pretty much I expect all of these ones that have topped in BT12 to still have that potential to top in this new format, and we'll have to see if that's the case as well. But we're going to go over 5 newer archetypes, and we're going to start off with ShineGrey. And also I do want to mention too that these are just deck lists that I've been tinkering with. I wouldn't say that I've had enough time to finalize these deck lists, and these are more of just if you guys are wanting to play into the Ultimate Cup format, these are some good ideas and some stuff to try out, and just a starter deck list or starter list for you guys to be able to tweak from there. I wouldn't expect necessarily any of these to be deck lists that could top by themselves, but just again a little bit of a blueprint for you guys to start off with if you're interested in playing any of these lists in this format. So ShineGrey, I think a lot of people don't expect to be very good in this format, strictly because we do lose the Marcus Daemon, and this is the BT12 one, which arguably is the better one in the fact that you are able to cheat up your devolution lines with it. I think that's very strong. So, and then also we have less Marcuses that we can play for free or use our effects for. But I have been trying a little bit with the BT4 Marcus, and I think that's fine for what it is. Obviously, it's worse, especially since it's a memory setter, and you're going to already be running the BT13 one, which is also a memory setter, but you're not really upset with having this tamer out, and you can still run this deck essentially as all red cards, which is really nice for you, and kind of go from there. So we're just playing like this deck is pretty understood in a lot of ways. You do have some personal choices between which Rise Greymons which you like, what Agamons you like, and what ratios you're running, and GeoGreys as well. I do like the Star Deck GeoGrey as well, just to have a card pop out, and sometimes it can like reset our line if we need to, because I think without 4 copies of this Marcus around, it's going to be a little bit more expensive to go up per chain, but in general I think this is a slower format as well, so you can kind of be afforded that time. So, but I like the idea of this, and I think this deck is so strong, and I'm going to be interested to see if people are taking this event or taking these deck lists to or ShineGrey to these events, and if they're able to do well with it as well. So this is I just kind of want to say that I think this deck is not dead in the format, and you can definitely try it out. So this is the list for ShineGrey here, and then next up we have MirageGaogamon, and this is honestly just a deck that I think is very kind of known for ratios. A lot of these decks, there's not a lot of room for creativity. I'll be kind of like the first to say, because I look at a lot of these deck lists, and most of it comes down to individual choices of which cards you like at 3s, 2s, at 4s, and that kind of stuff, and less of the cards that you choose. It's more the ratios of the cards that you kind of have to use anyway. So you do have a little bit of freedom with your rookies. I do think like Belphemon is still pretty good in this format. It can be helpful there. I think like there are a lot of decks that do try to gain memory that can be present in this format. Additionally, I think that Psychomon, which we'll see in a little bit, I think it's still going to be relevant against Blue Flare, which is I think again going to be pretty popular. But being able to be a little bit slower, being able to get afford that setup, I think is strong for MirageGaogamon. Is the same thing as like All Force. It was a little bit better in Ultimate Cups in the past compared to the present, the regular format, I'd say. But I think that's there. I personally don't like running Nikolai either, but you guys can definitely run him. I just like running Thomas's so I can get more consistent versions of this burst mode, which is really nice. And, just generically what you want to do for this deck is you want to go up your chain, you want to find at least one tamer, and you get some advantage off this. This MirageGaogamon itself is probably the best card for the deck. It's a really good boss monster. It has a lot of disruption for your opponent, and it's moderately cheap to go out into it too, which is really nice, and potentially burn your opponent for damage. So this is something to build a deck around and get some advantage from. And then we just have a lot of good inheritables of unsuspending, gaining memory off of using your own effects, of being able to go your chain a little bit easier, and I think that's really important for it too. So this is my MirageGaogamon list, and look at that there. Next up we have Rosemon, and we do kind of know that Bloomlord is pretty strong right now, but I did want to just kind of go over the Rosemon package, since I think green has a really good base for it, and it honestly has some of the better top end in this format, because we do have a combination of the Quartzmon as well as the Rosemon burst mode, which again, if we're in a little bit of a slower format, being able to use this outright to play just go up into it and get your advantage, I think that's great. We're playing 1 Hydramon and 4 of the Rosemon here. You can also play Bloomlords too in this list too, and I'm sure that we'll see some combinations of like Rose and Bloom in this format as well, but I think the burst mode is a pretty good top end. Quartzmon also is just generically really, really good for a top end, and some decks really don't have a great way to go around this. So if you obviously want to go into Bloom and just use Quartz, I think that's still viable in this format. But the new kind of Lalamon, Sunflowermon, and Lilamon that we've been seeing work very good in Bloomlord, I think obviously is supposed to be for Rosemon, and that's really great. I also do like the Yoshino. I thought that Mimi's such a good tamer. Mimi's been around forever, and it's always just been like the best green tamer, but I think like Yoshino is just good enough in this format that it's you can run it, you get that advantage for it, and the fact that you get to play it for free off your Lilamon, I think is really fantastic for it too. So this is the list there, and then next up we have an Alphamon list, and I know that Alphamon is a little bit of an older archetype, but I do think that the new support it got in BT13 is fantastic. It definitely is a deck that does miss Cool Boy and X antibodies as well. But I do think that it is strong enough, and you'll see that we still have the Aryukin in this build, and most of the level 7s in this game are white, so unless you have like the deck that can facilitate that, I do think that this is a really good boss monster, and you can build it more of like an OTK build with running the final Zubagon punch and like the Sunrise that we're adding in this one too. We don't really rely on like the Dex Durugramon or Dex Dorogramon as much, just because that these are cards that you want to take advantage with Cool Boy, but again, this is a format you can't run that, so that's a little bit worse because of that. So we're playing some Yuji and some Kodas though to kind of make up for it off of the Doromons and the Ryudamons, and kind of from there we kind of know what this deck looks like. Obviously we also do get like the new support of like the BT13 Alphamon, which I do like this one a lot. I think this is a pretty strong card, and honestly can sometimes rival the traditional Alphamon that we run in this package, so the flexibility with this card is very strong as well. So, and then because we do have a new Durogray, and but since the Dex Durogray is not as strong, I do like the Grademon or Grademon, however you're supposed to say it. I think it's good in as a level 5 slot as well. And if you don't like Dex Duro, I think you can take it out, because again, without Cool Boy, it definitely does lose a little bit of that advantage there too. So this is the list there for Alphamon, and to wrap it up, we do have a Belphemon, and we've been seeing Belphemon do pretty well, and most of these decks that we've been going over have been doing well in the regular format. All of these are kind of at least BT13 centric decks, or at least decks that got support because of BT13, but this is definitely a new archetype altogether with purple, with Belphemon, and I think it's very strong. It's a combo deck, and I think that sometimes it is a little bit slow for the setup in the regular format, but because of the extra time I normally see you get advantage to, this can be really, really strong, and some decks just strictly do not have an out to rage mode, and I think it's really strong there. So this is a really curated list, and I think a lot of decks were already running mono purple anyways. The only kind of exception is that I know some people were playing like Omni Zwart just as like a top end, but I think people are mostly moving away from that anyways. But some good cards. I do like the Nidhoggmon. Being able to gain memory in spontaneous ways is really good. Having a couple level 4s in like the Dobermon as well as the Devimon, I think is strong, and some disruption like Gazimon. I'm thinking that memory blockers are a little bit more important in this format, but I do definitely think Psychmon can be good there. So whatever one you like more, definitely run a little bit more of that one. But again, there's a lot of recursion in this list, and again, like the OTK potential is fantastic, which is really, really nice. So that is the list there, and those are the 5 lists that I have for you guys. Short and simple for this one, but I did just kind of want to give out some Ultimate Cup decks that you guys could look out, and just, again, I do think a lot of the ones that were relevant in BT12 will still be relevant in this one, and I just kind of wanted to give some examples of some builds for BT13 to get you guys started and thinking about the format for this month. So that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Good luck in your Ultimate Cups in this upcoming month, and I'll catch you all next time.